Let's talk about this mango situation. Now, just as a quick recap for everybody, this is there was an event called Beerio Kart. Now, this is going to play a very big part of why we're talking about this again, because there's been new updates to this. Now,
new information.
Yes, and honestly, I'm not going to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Okay, so Beerio Kart is this event put on by this guy named Ludwig. Okay, Ludwig is a streamer. He's rose to prominence the last few years. We've had actually a face-to-face interaction before in the past, but that's another story for another time. But he puts on this event called Beerio Kart. And during this live stream, this event, this streamer, Extra Emily, she's also been talked about on the show, she was streaming, and this guy, Mango, who is a Smash Brothers pro, came up and started doing this. Right here.
Guys, yeah, we're not sure. But Mango, on the other hand, no.
It's just gross behavior.
No.
End the stream. End it.
End the stream, Mango said.
End the stream.
Okay, so he goes up, he does that. Kirsche, what'd you say?
I said it's gross behavior. Like, it's clear that the lady in the mushroom head is uncomfortable, but he keeps, like, why? Like, just stop. Cringe.
Right, yeah, total cringe, right? We all understand this. Now, shortly after this, he was released by his gaming group, Cloud9, here. They're like, oh, look, we're aware of this. He's been great, but we're not doing this anymore, right? And he came out, and he also said, man, Cloud9 dropping me, probably getting banned from tournaments, and pretty much saying he had it all, and he tossed it in the trash can, right? Now, apparently, this dude is an alcoholic. This is something that people have talked about. I don't know this. I don't know the guy. This is just what people say. This is what he says. But what about Ludwig, the organizer here? Because that's really what I want to talk about here. Now, he came out and he said that Mango is no longer invited to Ludwig's events. So here's him saying that in mute.
And, I reached out to anyone who I felt might have felt uncomfortable and talked to them. Well, also, and I already told Mango this, I'm no longer inviting Mango to Mobile Moves events. Because, it's a privilege to go to an event, man. Like, the whole point of an event is, like, it's a fun thing to do, have a good-ass time. And if somebody appearing jeopardizes somebody else having a good time, that just can't be a thing. Now, I see a lot of dialogue on, like, broader implications. I'm only worried about my team, my events. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't speak the Melee community. I'm not like championing any other action.
Okay. So his thing is, I'm only concerned about my events, my people, my staff. Okay. So I just want you to remember that statement here as we're going along. Now, this has not been a good look across the board for anybody, right? Now, Ludwig, I want to keep this in mind. This is how he promoted the event. Giving away a Switch 2. Just retweet this tweet. I'm also giving away 6 more during Beerio Kart World Cup, a 24-person drinking and driving event happening, right? Okay. So he's obviously promoting there's going to be drinking, right? And obviously it's Mario Kart driving. It's not really real, right? But the chat's pointing this out. Why invite not an alcoholic to this event? If he's a known alcoholic, why would you invite him to your event about drinking?
Because you don't actually care about the person, you care about the content, and that when an alcoholic's going to be there, they're going to get insane, and it's going to be content.
Exactly.
Well, that content has now got Mango banned from Twitch after his behavior from Ludwig's Mario Kart events. So
I mean, it was streamed on Twitch, right?
Yes, it was streamed on Twitch.
Well, then that kind of makes sense then. If you're
because I don't think you're supposed to
service.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be out in your boxers on Twitch. Like, if it had just been YouTube or Kick, I think that would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I remember a guy, I don't know what streamer it was, but I remember years ago there was a male streamer who, like, jumped up from his desk and, like, did a little dance because he won something in, like, a game. I don't know what he won. I don't know what it was. But when he got up, his, like, basketball shorts fell down, and you could see his boxers briefly, and he got a ban for that.
Yeah, right. Well, there's been some discussion. Not I feel not enough.
Wait, real quick though, like banned as in like permanently banned, like a little suspension on Twitch.
I don't know. We don't know.
It's kind of ironic though, right? That like he would be banned or suspended for that, but like certain things on Twitch are totally allowed.
Well, listen, we all know Twitch is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's worth saying it still anyway.
Right. So it's also interesting the framing of this. This is from Dexerto. Smash Pro Mango banned from Twitch after drunken antics at Ludwig Mario Kart event. Now, in here, it doesn't say anything about it being Beerio Kart. That it was, it says the event Beerio Kart required competitors to finish their drinks before the end of the race or be disqualified, right? But you would think that would be in the title, that this was a drunken antics at a drinking event, right? And to be clear, I've done drinking events in the past, but I think it's really up to the organizer of the event to make sure that everybody is safe, right? Or taken care of. And I don't think that Ludwig did that, and neither does Mango's wife, as she's come out, and she's actually, this is Mango's wife calling out Ludwig before deleting or deactivating her Twitter account. She says, but since I'm not bound by shit as a civilian, Ludwig is effing watching you on stream, asking for Mango to take shots. Of course, your little teeny bopper viewer bitch ass wants to pretend that nothing ever happened. People were vomiting at your event, and you'll never once decided to, I guess, pull the plug. Hope you enjoy your fall from grace for banning Mango while encouraging him to get effing wasted, you fucking lud, or F you lud. Now, what am I talking about? This is why I think there should be more pressure on Ludwig here. This is from the event that was happening.
Like an alcoholic. Okay, Mango is like an alcoholic.
So he says that right off the bat. Mango is an alcoholic.
And I do want to point out, I think that woman wearing the yellow hat, she is the woman in the other clip that I watched where Mango came up and did the air humping, and she told him to fuck off, go away, and then he kept coming back and doing it more.
Okay. I didn't see that clip with the lady.
That's
the girl.
so shady. Because you have a wife too. It's like, what the fuck?
Let's see how Ludwig acts here.
Okay, Mango is like an alcoholic. Mango can drink 30 beers and act the same he does off no beers. He's a machine of a man.
He said he had 7 beers already today.
If you ask him how many beers he's had lifetime, it's probably above 10,000. He's the two.
She asked a good question here.
Yeah.
Is this event enabling him? Right?
He's the two-time champion. He's never lost. We gotta do PB! Guys, Mango just blew a .25!
So at this point, they're doing breathalyzer tests on him, and he blew a .25. Blabs, can you look up what the legal limit for being drunk is, please?
Mango just blew a .2.
That is my god.
Hey, everybody! Mango just blew a .32!
To be clear, that is dangerous. That's not good.
What state was this in?
Well, I
have no idea.
Because it says, as soon as you Google it, it says in California, legal limit for driving under the influence DUI is a blood alcohol concentration BAC of 0.08% for adults 21 and older.
They said he was a 3.2? God damn.
So nearly 4 times the legal limit for being drunk and driving. And they're over here like celebrating this.
That's so stupid.
Right.
That's not good. That's not good. That's dangerous.
Let's up those numbers!
I mean, to be fair, this is kind of what I expect from streamer parties, and like the morality of this got brought up. I'll let you finish playing in a second, but like the morality of this got brought up in my chat as well when I covered it on Tuesday. And like I think that there's 2 separate conversations, right? Like the morality of like encouraging and giving an alcoholic essentially his crack when you know that he drinks to dangerous levels, and that is separate from like the behavior that he put on display. And in my opinion, those are two different conversations. Because if he wasn't an alcoholic and he just acted this way normally, like he still would have had shitty behavior. I still think like Ludwig would have been correct for like disinviting him to stuff, right? Like when you bring in the morality of he's an alcoholic, then you'd be like, yeah, Ludwig probably shouldn't have invited this guy. But once again, you have no friends in content creation. If they can use you for like a bump on their viewership, they are going to do so.
Well, I think for me, it's the disingenuous nature. Like I agree. Take the idea that he is an alcoholic out of this, right? The problem I have with this is Ludwig going like, "Look, it's really unacceptable," and then the next clip of him being like, "He blew a 3.2, you know, a 0.32, you know."
Yeah,
and
very much encouraging it, very much being like, "Oh, this is going to be great content," blah blah blah. And what I said on Tuesday was like, if I had been in the position of any of those women who were getting like air humped, and I had known he'd been going around and doing it to other people, I would have just gone to Ludwig and been like, "Hey, bro. Like, he's making people uncomfortable. He needs to get kicked out, like, ASAP. Like, he shouldn't be here."
Right. I would like to see more pushback on Ludwig on this, personally, because I don't understand how anybody can look at this and be like, "Yeah, that's a really good idea." And he's not. Look, this goes back to Mango chose to drink the drinks, right?
Yes.
But when you have somebody over here celebrating, like literally saying, "Let's get these numbers up," when you're already 4 times over the legal limit. You know, like this is literally the event organizer.
Good. That's dangerous.
Let's up those numbers!
Right? Like, you can't do that and then come back and be like, "Look, guys, it's really unfortunate over here." Like, you're playing both sides of it, which I do not agree with. Let's finish this off real quick.
Shit. Everybody, get your second race ready to go.
And he's, by the way, Ludwig clearly plastered at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're all plastered, which is the point
Yeah.
of the event. And, like,
Yeah.
I think these events are fine, right? Because these are essentially just house parties. It's just with streamers, and so they're streaming. And people in my chat, I got, like, actually mad. People in my chat were like, "Well, they're at work if they're streamers. They should have professional behavior." And it's like, this isn't an office party. These aren't, like, people who are, like, doing your taxes, getting a drink after work. Like, streaming is their job. Being entertainers is their job. And there's going to be different rules at a house party for people whose job is to be entertaining, as opposed to, like, if you go with Kathy from HR and you try to grope her at the bar, right? Like,
I agree with you. I agree. Like, as far as, I actually don't have any problem with this, like, these events at all. But I think
and if someone did get groped, obviously the guy should get fucking punished for it.
Right.
Full stop.
Dude, we just did King of the Couch and a couple weeks ago, and yeah, everyone was having a couple drinks and it was fine. But like,
I even made groping jokes at that event.
Right? You know, and like Garrett said, he had like 5 or 6 drinks, right? And like we made sure that he was taken care of and made sure he didn't do anything stupid. And you know, like I'm very monitoring this stuff, like as it's happening. That's like your responsibility. Let's go finish this up here to see what else is said here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were Mango. I got confused.
Oh, fucking me. You just fucked me from behind. Get off me. Oh my God. You thrust so nicely.
So anyways, there you go. And he's talking about getting humped from behind as well. So
I think I don't know, that his expression at the end of that is kind of like, I know this guy is going to do something terrible and I am going to have to pay the piper for it in the morning. Like, just at his big sigh after getting humped by Mango there, that makes me feel like he maybe knew how this guy acted when he gets very drunk. Because before I was like, you know, maybe I don't know anything about Mango. I don't follow Ludwig. So it's like Ludwig might not have known how Mango acted while drunk, right? Like, this could have just been he didn't know he was going to start air humping the other people and make them uncomfortable. But after that, I feel like he probably knew.
I think they're both wrong. Obviously, I think Mango is more wrong in this situation, doing what he did. But I don't think it's fair for Ludwig just to kind of pass the blame and gaslight and be like, "Well, listen, he's no longer invited to our events," when he was the one literally encouraging him to drink more and for him to act stupid. You know, so. You know he's sponsored, like those events are sponsored by like AT&T. Like,
that's wild.
Like he has major sponsors for these events, and you would think that someone would be like, "Yo, dude, is this really what you want?" I don't know. Like, I'm all about people making their own decisions, right? But at a certain point, like, we've all been drunk, we've all had way too much at some point in our life, right? And at a certain point, you just don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there, we've all been there, and especially, I can't even imagine, nor would I even want to put myself in a situation where I'm live streaming to the point to where I'm so obliterated that I have no idea what I'm doing. Because I know that I would do something stupid. I know that I would say something dumb, do something stupid. And I don't know, it's just, I think a lot more. Look, Mango really effed up here, right? Is it okay for him to be banned from everything forever for a mistake that he made over the course of 5 seconds or whatever it may be?
Well, this is what I was saying too. Like, I feel like it was very fair. If somebody had reported him during the party, it would have been very fair to kick his ass out. I think that should have happened. And it's very fair for Ludwig to be like, we're not going to invite you to any more of these events. I feel like Ludwig, again, like you said, after the clips we've seen, should probably be like, yeah, I encouraged this behavior, but regardless, I think it should be the fact that he doesn't get invited to these because he obviously cannot be around alcohol. I think it was a little extreme for him to get like cut from his organization, because it just, unless this was a pattern of behavior and this was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and there's like many other clips of him doing this shit, I just feel like it's really weird. I think Cloud9 could have done really well with being like, hey, we'll keep you on, but only if you get sober. You have to have, the Alcoholics Anonymous chips or whatever. Like, you have to get help. You have to get sober. We can't have you acting like this while representing the org, right? Like, I think that would have been perfectly fine. Because it's not like he actually assaulted someone. He was harassing, and what he did was bad. And it didn't rise to the level of assault, and maybe it could have in the future, which is why he should stop drinking.
Well, I have not seen much pushback outside of Mango. I haven't seen much pushback on anybody, specifically Ludwig here. And you wonder if there's like, if he's part of that protected class now, where it's like, well, it's Ludwig. Why would you want to do, But I don't know. I feel like there should be something thrown back at him. I think that's totally fair. Like, as somebody who organizes events, it's ultimately your responsibility to make sure that people are taken care of. And I said this, when we talked about this the other day, right? If you go to a bar, you drink, you mess up, ultimately it's going to be on the bar. It's going to come back to the bar. People say, well, what's it matter if, I saw people in the chat saying, like, what's it matter what his blood alcohol content is? Well, he knows that he's a known alcoholic. He literally said it in the clip during the stream. And, at a certain point, you are absolutely enabling this dude, and I would say that at a certain point, it's just not safe, right? 4 times 0.08, like, my God, like you're close. Like, what is the blood alcohol content? The blood, I'm just going to Google this, blood alcohol content to where like you die.
Like, I mean, maybe that's why he was banned on Twitch. Maybe it wasn't for the boxers, or maybe it was a combination of the boxers and the blood alcohol level. Because on Twitch, you can drink, but the caveat is that you can't drink to a dangerous level. So if they took that into account, like, it's very possible that that had something to do with it. Because, like, I think drinking on stream is fine, but there's, like, specific rules about, like, shots for subs or, like, getting donos for shots and whatnot, because Twitch doesn't want you engaging in behavior that could be very dangerous for you.
Mm-hmm. So apparently blood alcohol content levels obviously varies by person, but they said at 0.4 can be potentially fatal, right? He was at 0.32. So fast approaching a potentially fatal level of blood alcohol content. Just saying, there's a lot there. And it should definitely be talked about a little bit more. So, okay, let's go to get some of these.
Side note, real fast. I tried to find about Mango's Twitch ban, and there is no like real official statement from Twitch nor him. So it seems to be a ban, but unsure. Just in case anyone's curious.
Nick says, just
That'd be
FYI,
real weird.
under 0.08 is legal for driving. Most people can function at 0.2, but it goes downhill fast, and most people get alcohol poisoning at 0.5 and potentially pass. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Graham says, these are pussies. I went to work the day after I died from ODing. Handle your shit and handle yourself. Yeah, Graham actually died.
Holy
He OD'd.
shit.
I'm glad the junkie days are behind me. If you can't handle it, it's time to get help. Montez, thank you, Graham. Anthony says, Ludwig is lucky something more serious didn't happen. 3 is approaching alcohol poisoning territory.
He is.
Yes.
Like if he continues to encourage this kind of dangerous behavior and would continue to use people who have addictions for the sake of content, when it wouldn't be a matter of if something happens at one of these events, it would be a matter of when. And I don't think anybody really wants to have to deal with being responsible for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Marius says, and I agree with you. Marius says, guess Mango took Super Smash Bros. Too literally, trying to smash while being smashed. Do you know that if you subscribe right here, you probably won't lose all your hair?